So it's been a while since I did a break video on the Matchroom 9 on the spot break. And in that video, I figured out a way to break using a playing cue where I spin in the wing ball and I play shape on the one. Here's the deal. That break is proving not to work on all conditions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain why and how the pros are breaking this break now and making the one ball most of the time. Since now it's basically a game of making the one ball and gambling on the two-ish. So, and I'm also putting the rack here because this racking area is so messed up that with this rack, the 9 on the spot doesn't rack tight. So I'm racking on the other side for today. So you want to make the one in the side. I'm gonna break from here, right? Breaking from the box, aiming from the 9 to the first diamond. So if you actually aim from the 9 to the first diamond, the line is here, right? The edge of the box is here. I'm moving the cue ball in about half a ball or so from this line, full ball or so from the middle of the ball being placed on the corner of the break box. In that half ball hit, you're using draw to make the one in the side. Cue ball zigzagging across this area of the rack. Sometimes it goes low, sometimes it goes high, depends on how you hit it. And hopefully make the one. And then I'll explain how that works in a minute. So something like that. This break takes a long time to get used to. You really got to put a lot of hours in understanding and feeling how to break this, how to shoot this break shot. And the main reason is that you got to put a more bottom than you think you do, and you got to hit it slightly softer than you think you do for a normal break. And the way I've been doing that, just to get the timing right, is to, and this is what I do with most breaks, but especially with this break, you really got to feel like you're not pushing through the ball a lot. You got to feel like the cue is carrying all the power into the cue ball. That's what's helping me break well. But there's a few other things that I do that I am finding help make that one ball. The first thing, where I'm putting the tip, is pretty low. It's about a tip and a half below center. I mean, everyone's tip is different, but it's about 80% towards the edge of the cue ball. So pretty low. You can have success if you don't go as low and hit it thicker. The problem is the one ball tends to go higher that way, and then the thicker you hit the ball, or the more towards center you hit the ball, the more speed the cue ball has, and the more speed the cue ball has, the more the one ball wants to travel above the side pocket anyway. So there's multiple factors pushing the one ball above the pocket. So this would be above the pocket, this would be below the pocket. So there's multiple factors trying to pull the one ball above the pocket. The draw allows the one ball to sort of fall lower towards the pocket, right? So if you put backspin on the cue ball, puts a roll on the one ball, and the roll on the one ball keeps it towards this pocket instead of coming up, right? The ball wants to travel that way more. So that's one thing, is making sure that you get enough draw on the ball. The second thing that I do, and you'll see a lot of pros do this as well, is they will still elevate their cue. Even though they're not going for a pop break, they're still elevating their cue slightly. And what that does, I have a few theories. We'll call them theories because I haven't really talked to any pros about this. But my idea is, it's pretty simple. When you elevate the cue, especially with a break shot at this speed, the cue ball is not in contact. It's coming off of the cloth for, you know, a decent portion of its travel length through to the one ball, and you can actually see marks where the ball is hopping. It's not being dragged on the cloth and spinning backwards at the same time. It's hopping as it's spinning backwards. And what that does is it keeps more backspin on the ball longer, which again transfers more forward roll to the one ball. keeping it closer to the side pocket. The second thing it does is that it gives you a better chance of hitting this one ball slightly thinner, because the one ball would be in the air at contact. And just like a jump shot, you got to aim slightly thicker on a jump shot than you normally would, because there's a good chance that the cue ball might be in the air. And when the cue ball's coming down towards the one ball here, you're going to cut it more than you were if it was actually sliding on the cloth at the same time at contact. Those are the reasons that I think are keeping this one ball pretty consistent with this break. Just a little elevation, good timing on the hit. I'm really not putting a whole lot of energy into the cue ball. Maybe 60, 70% speed. You could probably go 80, 90% speed and still do it, but it becomes exponentially more difficult to not only hit the right spot on the cue ball, getting that bottom spin enough to counteract the extra speed and the extra amount of the one ball wants to come above the side pocket, but also becomes harder to aim, harder to stroke with good timing, all those things. So watch the pros break this, and you will see they don't break full power. Most of them don't. And they're going to make this one ball much more consistently that way. And also, you'll be surprised how much better the spreads can be with just a good stroke, and you're not trying to power all the balls around the table. It's kind of crazy. It seems counterintuitive, but that's what happens. The only other thing that I noticed with this break is if you hit it really sweet, you can still make that wing ball. I am finding a lot more success with this style break, with clean conditions, making the one on the side and kind of gambling on the two ball, than I was with my sort of spin break. That's a more finicky hit. You really, really have to have an accurate hit, and the stroke timing has to be perfect. Yeah, it's a lot harder to do that break. I think this is an easier break and worth the gamble on the two ball. Oh, I should probably mention moving the cue ball in. There's a reason for that. I think it makes the hit on the one easier. It's more of a half ball hit. If you're from the very edge of the break box, you can hit it thicker, but it becomes a little more difficult to aim. And you might think you'd get a better spread from the edge of the break box, but I don't think that's true. It sounds counterintuitive, but I don't think that's true. You get more speed on the cue ball off of the side rail as well, the more inward you are. And yeah, I think good things can happen. It's an easier hit. That doesn't mean you can't break from the edge depending on table conditions. Every table plays different. Spin, speed, cue ball placement's all going to be different on every table. So don't take every word I say here as gospel. All right, I'm gonna try to string a few of these together, and yeah, montage time. I should note, the spreads on this table are not going to be the same as what you would find on a diamond or a gold crown with bouncy rails. These rails are super spongy, and the cloth is pretty slow. It's clean, but worn in. Yeah, you'd probably get a better spread with balls a lot more on this side of the table than you see on my table. Yep. See, there I could feel that I was still pushing through the cue ball at moment of impact with the cue ball, where the tip makes contact with the one. I can feel it really still straining on my biceps. It tells you that the timing's not good, because it takes time for your biceps to not fully contract, but contract enough to let go of that feeling, let the cue do the work, right? You want to be able to get through the cue ball without feeling it in your arms. It should be easier than that. I made it hard, and the rack told me I got it wrong. So use the rack to help you figure out what's wrong with your hit. And honestly, that's the secret to breaking in general. See, even though I hit that one thicker, because the timing was good and there was enough backspin, the one ball still went. But normally, it wouldn't go if it was bad timing or if there's less backspin. It would come above. So if you hit it thicker, the one ball comes above the side pocket. If you hit it too thin, which is kind of rare, the one ball goes underneath the pocket. Now, it might be more common to see that on a diamond table, but certainly not here. Again, every table is different. There we go. Now, I know I missed the one ball on that one, but again, good things can happen if you feel that the hit is good. I'm hitting them a bit thick right now. I'm getting away with it, but I'm hitting them thick. You really want the cue ball to come towards the stack. So there I hit it too thin, still made the one ball. It's almost self-correcting, and here's why. When you hit it thin, the one ball wants to go lower, right? So let's say it goes too low. Well, guess what? When you hit it thin, you're not putting as much spin-induced throw on the one ball, right? That backspin doesn't transfer as much because you're hitting less of the one ball, so it automatically corrects and goes back upwards on the table. It's all self-correcting because of the amount of backspin. So if you hit it thicker, it transfers more spin-induced throw. And if you hit it thicker or thinner, it transfers less spin-induced throw. So I think it's easier to make the one ball than it sounds like. So there you go. This is, in my opinion, probably the highest percentage chance of getting back to the table or continuing your run at the table. Even if you can't see the two ball, at least you get to push out. You have control of the table. The whole point is make the one ball, right? Make the one ball, get the cue ball, back and forth. And then even though it's a bit of a gamble on the two, it's what it is. You got to play the game from there. This game is so much more important after the break. I know I have a lot of breaking videos. That's not what pool is. Pool is not about the break. It's just what I really enjoy about pool. I enjoy everything about pool, but breaking is just special for me. Let me know if you have questions. That's it. Happy shooting, y'all.